What's up, spectators? Welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Here we are back, day 2. It's the trial. I'm Phoenix. Getting it on. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene. Director Cosmos, huh? Very well, bailiff. Please bring the witness to the stand. Ah, what a badass. Why, I believe I've seen you before in the newspapers.
Of course you have! Of course you have! For I am Yuri Cosmos, director of the Cosmos Space Center, which was of course named after me!
I feel like that's not the original voice.
Don't you have anything you wish to ask me?
I can do that voice. That might be... No, that's too evil. No, that's not right. That's Archie from Pokemon. I can't do that. Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging.
7 years ago, I successfully launched the Hat 1, and...
Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. Even I am trying to hold back my tears at seeing such a great man standing before me. So could you please proceed directly to your important testimony?
I see this fine young lad as a proper appreciation of greatness. Then allow me to begin my epochal testimony that will be recorded in the annals of history.
That speech of Prosecutor Blackwell's just now, it sounded more to me like he was poking fun at Director Cosmos. It's probably for the best that it sailed right over the director's head. Now then, Director Cosmos, the condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please. What I saw at the scene.
Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Taryn lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. Starbuck.
I see. So in your testimony you claim, you arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge. And just after the victim had been killed.
Oh, the horror, the humanity. But what I said is what I saw, and what I saw is what I said. Courageous action to take in the face of such terrifying explosions, wouldn't you say? To save my men, I went personally into the epicenter of danger. Risking my own life for theirs.
Well, what do you know? It sounds like the director really cares about his men. Yeah, although it sounds more like he was scared and just had a peek from far away. Is the defense ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm going to have to press him and draw out more information before I can do anything else. I'm gonna press him and press him hard. Oh, I'm gonna press him hard, I'm gonna press him fast. Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. Press.
Hold it!
Where were you coming from?
The 6th floor. We were making sure any stragglers made their way to the 4th floor. It was then we heard about Starbuck and Taryn and hurried to the 3rd floor lounge. On my galactic scooter here, of course!
Why do you keep calling it galactic? Does it have something to do with space?
Of course, it's specifically designed to be used on galactic battleships.
I see. Then I take it works in 0G too?
Sadly, no, with the current state of technology as it is. I'm afraid it would just float about and be galactically useless.
Well, that's a galactic bummer. I see. So you rushed to the boarding lounge on your space-age pogo stick. And when you got to the scene, what did you see? Sometimes it feels like somebody's watching. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. Via the control room.
Hold it!
Let's see, according to this diagram, you didn't have to go through the control room to get to boarding lounge 1. It looks like you could have gone there from the southern corridor as well.
Yes, but in her haste, Detective Arm rushed ahead of me towards the control room. All I could do was merely follow behind her.
I see.
So we peeked into the boarding lounge from the control room door and...
We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Taryn lying on the floor.
Hold it!
So you couldn't see who that figure was clearly, or what they were doing.
Sadly, the only thing I could tell was that it was a person standing motionless.
The defendant, no doubt, staring aghast at his deed. What other explanation is there?
I'm so close!
But without evidence, I can't prove that person's the third party. I don't relish
in this, and...
I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck.
Hold it!
Aura Blackquill also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge, but she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see this figure's face clearly?
No, not clearly. The lighter they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time. But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Taryn, but I couldn't see who the other person was.
So, for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck, isn't that correct?
I would like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of man who is capable of murder.
Objection!
When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct, Great Space Center Director?
Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Taryn were there by that time. After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark and the figure vanished.
You mean they disappeared? That's odd.
Objection!
The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was the defendant. When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness.
Hold it!
Hold on, Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off the scene?
Just for a brief instant, about as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by.
If you took your eyes off the scene, then this third person could have escaped during that time. But what escape route could this person have used? The direction opposite the control room, the southern door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would be impossible to escape that way.
Objection!
Oh, would be possible. All things are possible, right, Dono? The real question is, do you have any proof? Oh, well. If we're just talking possibilities, we could each profess whatever we'd like. An inmate who used to be a university professor and lunar researcher used to say, that there is a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon. What the hell? As long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done to it. But I say, where's your proof that this quaint kingdom exists? Of course, naturally, in a courtroom, the burden of proof lies on the prosecution. He's calling your theory a work of fiction, boss. And he's right. I don't have any proof yet, still. The southern door was a possible escape route. I'd better make a mental note of that. Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question?
Yes?
Why did you look away from the boarding lounge?
That's actually another tale of bravery behind an answer to that. It was when Detective Arm saw the figure and raised her gun. Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her.
What? You're saying Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure?
I imagine her instincts as the detective told her they were the killer.
I don't know about that. And were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun? No, we found her bullet.
I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly and then... she fired 2 warning shots at the shadowy figure.
2? We only found 1 bullet, and 1 bullet hole. This information about Detective Arm's actions sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony. Oh, that's some more presenting to do. Hold on, let me press it first. fired 2 warning shots at the figure.
Hold it!
And neither of these 2 shots hit the culprit.
That is correct. The detective appears to have missed on purpose.
But did she really? There's something about this that bothers me. If she fired twice, we only found 1 bullet, that means 1 of the bullets hit the person, or hit someone. So Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, did she? That's the first time that info has come out. Wonder if I can find any inconsistencies. And yes, we can, because there's 1 bullet hole, 1 bullet is missing. Okay, oh, we're back at the beginning. Yes! Okay, so what do I need for the presenting of this little bit of this? Here we go. Discovered in the gutter, south wall. Okay.
Objection!
Oh no! I got it wrong! No, 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 no! I thought it would be the bullet. No! What did I do wrong? There's clearly something wrong with that statement. But it's... Oh, shoot. Oh, no, no. What? The bullet is the best piece of evidence, though, isn't it? What am I missing here? Autopsy, Space Center design, utility knife, launch pad, 1 door, camera video, oxygen tank data, Space Center pamphlet, control room door lock, which is for the room they were in, bullet hole, single bullet hole found in the boarding lounge. This bullet is missing. Is that what they were saying? I don't, it's pretty confusing.
Objection!
Okay, there we go, we got that one. Are you sure you were really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing?
You doubt my words? Words that will someday be written down in history books.
Oh, it's killing my throat. Ugh. Somehow, I don't think at those exact words will ever be written down in any history books. Ah, water is so good. Mr. Wright, could you please explain yourself so that we can all understand? You say that Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, and yet only 1 bullet hole was ever found at the scene.
What?
Only 1 bullet hole means the gun was only fired once. And yet Director Cosmos is saying Detective Arm fired 2 shots. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction into a history book.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, the witness's words are true. We confirmed that 2 shots were fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Objection!
But there was only 1 bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? Ah! So cute. You should know the answer to that already. I should. During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We've already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Well, it appears that the thing that ruptured it was a bullet. A bullet that was found near the tank, to be precise. This bullet was fired from a .38 caliber gun. Oh, the bullet we have is 10 caliber. The bullet he has is a .38 caliber. Therefore, 2 separate guns. Wowzers. Okay. What? Oxygen tank data updated in the correct hand. The rifling marks also match up. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Arm's gun. Bullet from Arm's gun added to the core record, so we have 2 bullets in here. Do they look the same though? I'm kind of curious. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Let's see. Bullet. Oh, it's bigger! Okay. I mean, it is different caliber, but they really zoomed in. Rifling marks. They're like a gun's fingerprints on a bullet, correct? And examining the rifling marks on a bullet can tell us the gun it was fired from. One of the bullets the detective fired found its way into the holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. The evidence confirms the director's statement that the detective fired 2 shots. My beautiful contradiction. Gone! All gone! So that bullet hole was from a 38 caliber, huh? I'd better update the record. Bullet hole updated. Let's see. Made by bullet fired from 38 caliber. Very good. Now we know the fate of both of the shots Detective Arm fired. Mr. Wright, does that clear up all of your questions? Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. One hit the holographic display and the other hit the oxygen tank. Does that really clear up everything about what happened at the scene? No, because we have another bullet! Present it, Phoenix! Present it now! Throw it at the judge! Throw it so fast it kills him! Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from a 38 caliber gun. But that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene! A piece that points to the existence of a third person. Oh! That was really weird, oh. Oh! Very well, but it won't do to keep us waiting, Mr. Wright. What piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a third person at the scene? Bullet!
Take that!
And what is this metal pellet supposed to be? Just a little something of great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor. You found it where? In a floor gutter at the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a 10 caliber bullet, making it much smaller than one of Detective Arm's 38 calibers. Then that means... Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. A third person with a gun that could fire 10 caliber bullets. And if that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired warning shots. This third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos?
Ha ha ha! It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us.
What's this now? Why would he lie? What an idiot.
What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me before? Ha ha ha! Well, all great men have a secret or two, don't you know?
Foolish old geezer. So Director Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along. Director Cosmos, I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw. You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom you are just another witness. You won't receive special treatment here. Now please give accurate testimony. Because there's no punishment for lying, clearly. You just keep going. Keep going until you're caught or free to go. What I really saw at the scene.
Detective Arm and I rushed to the control...
Wait, we already read that. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and tearing on the floor. I would keep doing the voice, but I'm gonna lose my voice, and I've got Pokemon to record after this. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. Given that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it, does this mean the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant? Not necessarily. It's still possible that it was someone else. Most likely, as soon as Detective Arm and Director Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock.
Objection!
Double-edged swords are a tricky lot. Mishandle one and it is you who is cut down. Your reasoning could apply if Spaceboy were the killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired the 10 caliber gun. Detective Arm would have responded by firing 2 warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to invent the possibility of a third person.
Objection!
But Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by the police. Nor has a gun been found at the crime scene. Its absence can only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them.
Objection!
Recall the existence of a trash chute in the boarding lounge. The defense could have simply thrown the gun down the chute.
Objection!
But you can't deny the possibility of a third person leaving with the weapon.
Objection!
It's up to you to prove that possibility. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence. What evidence? Why, the detonator switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, naturally. The most compelling evidence of all that tells us he is the culprit. Oh, I did forget all about that. Look, your baldness, how deliciously obvious that it is that they lack the evidence to rival mine. Unfortunately, it's been over 20 minutes, so I'm gonna end this video here. So stay tuned next Monday for the next episode, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye!